recorded.
So how do we combine the first name and the second name? We use the concept of concatenate by activating our cell. So how do you activate your cell? Equal sign, concatenate, then text. So the first text is our first name, and the second text is the second name. Then you close the bracket and enter. So you will be able to see that we are able to come up with the first name and the second name combined together. So as you can see, we've now combined the first name and the second name. But we have a problem. There is no spacing between the first name and the second name. So what should we do to introduce the space between the first name and the second name? Okay. So the first thing that you do is to activate your cell. Then write the formula of concatenate. Concatenate. Then you close the bracket. So the first thing is first text. That's the first name, comma. Then there's a space between the first name and the second name. So that space becomes our second text. How do we introduce a space? Remember, Excel only recognizes numbers. So when we introduce a special character, that is the space, we have to use quotation marks. So we put the opening quotation mark, then click the space tab and closing quotation mark, then comma. Then our Excel now needs the third text now becomes the second name, which is that one there. So if you close the bracket and enter, you'll be able to see that now you have first name and second name, and there's a space between them. Is there somebody who has grasped something? Somebody? Okay, I can see one person responding. They have grasped something. Any other person? It is not a crime to ask. We are here to discuss it, all of us. So if you don't get the concept, we are able to repeat so that you get the concept. Okay, somebody is saying that I should repeat on how to separate the names. Let me share the entire screen so that you see everything that I pick. Okay, let's do away with these ones that we have done. Then we start afresh. So with these names here, you want to combine the first name and the second name. And in the logical part of it, you can recall that the first name and the second name, there's a space between them. So how do we introduce a space between the first name and the second name? So the first thing that we did, which is going to have a problem, let's see, you use a concept of concatenate. So you activate the cell by introducing equal sign. Then you write concatenate. if you are able to see, you will see it is appearing there, something in blue appearing there. Instead of now typing the entire formula, you go to your tab button and click it. Is there somebody who is able to see their tab button in their desktop or laptop? Somebody, if you are able to see the tab button, please confirm if you are able to see the tab button in your laptop or desktop. Somebody is saying no. If it is not written tab, then to your left, there is 2 arrows pointing the opposite direction. There's a key with 2 arrows pointing opposite directions. That is the tab button. So if you click that tab button, automatically it enters that formula. So our first text is the first name. Very good. So our first text is the first name, that is this. You click there, comma. Our second text becomes the second name, and you close the bracket. But if you're able to see, we have a problem with this formula. The problem is we are not able to separate where the first name ends and where the second name begins. So what should we do? We now want to introduce a space. How do we introduce a space? We introduce a space, activate the cell, concatenate, it appears there in blue. You click your tab button, it automatically appears. So the first name remains first name, that is it. That's the first text, comma. So our second text will now be the space between the first name and the second name. So how do we introduce a space? A space is a special character, but Excel only detects numbers directly. So how can we introduce a special character so that our Excel recognizes it as a formula? How do we introduce the space as a special character so that our Excel recognizes it as a numerical value? So we introduce that special character by using quotation marks. So you put your quotation mark by holding shift, then you click. If you are able to see, there's a place where we have a @ symbol on. So if you click shift and click that, you are able to introduce your quotation marks, opening quotation marks. So having done that, we now introduce that space by clicking the space tab. If you click the space tab, it introduces the space. Then you close the quotation mark, comma, then our third text now becomes the second name. Then you close the bracket. By doing so, you are now able to see that there is a distinction between the first name and the second name, and there's a space between them. Can we have 1 minute so that you try doing that from your side? Can we try that? I want to see the first person to do it. Is there someone who is able to do it? If you are stuck somewhere, you can also say, if you didn't get the concept, we can also do a repetition. Is there someone who is able to do, who has already done it? Somebody? If you are stuck somewhere. Okay, somebody is saying that I should pardon. Do a repetition of what we have done. We've said we want to introduce a space between the first name and the second name. Since when we did it, the first one without introducing that space, it was combining the first name and the second name without a space. So we were not able to recognize where the first name ends and where the second name starts from. So how do we make sure that there's a separation between the first name and the second name? We introduce a space. How should we introduce a space? We've also said that space is a special character that is not recognized by Excel formulas. So we have to treat it in a special way. How then do we make it be recognized by Excel formula as a value? We now we use the quotation marks to make that special character be recognized by the Excel formula. Okay, so let's see, we activate our cell by putting equal sign. Every formula in Excel starts by equal sign. That's a compulsory concept. Every formula in an Excel starts by use of equal sign. Every formula in Excel starts by use of equal sign. So we activate our cell by introducing equal sign. We write concatenate. If you are keen enough, you'll be able to see that now concatenate is appearing there, but it is in blue color. And we just said that how do we then pick that formula without typing the entire word? We just go to our tab button, then click the tab button if that blue is on the concatenate that we want to use. So you click your tab button and it automatically picks that formula for you. So the first thing that is required, you are able to see here, is text that is bold. It is black in color, but when I point it, it changes to blue. I think you are able to see it. So our first text becomes the first name, comma. Then the second text, now we want to introduce a space between the first name and the second name. So we use the quotation marks. Is there someone who is able to introduce the quotation mark? If you're keen enough, next to your shift button, on top of it, there is a button with this thing here. Let me show you. There's a button with this. If you are keen enough, there's a button with this side here. So if you hold shift and click that button, it automatically gives you the quotation marks. So let's move back to our formula. So the first thing that we have picked is the first text, which was the first name in column A. Our next text is now that special character, which is the space. So you use the quotation marks, the opening quotation mark, you click the space tab, then you click closing quotation mark, comma. By doing that, we have now introduced the space between the first name and the second name. So the next thing that is required now is the text 3. Our text 3 now becomes the second name, which is this one here. Then you close the bracket. By doing that, you are able to distinguish between the first name and the second name by use of concatenate. Are we clear up to there? Okay. Is there someone who has tried and is able to get the same answer? I want us to move together. Someone who has tried. Someone who has tried. Yes. I can only see one person responding. I don't know others. If you're stuck somewhere, you can say so that we help you. We move together. If you have a problem somewhere, okay, 2 people have done it. Two people have already done it. Any other person? Any other person who is able to do it? Okay. I want us now to move forward and use another formula to do the same thing. I want us to use another formula to do the same thing. I want us to use another formula to do the same thing. The first formula that we have used is concatenate, so let's leave it there. I want us now to use another concept. So we activate our cell, then we say the first cell with the first name is this. Then we use ampersand sign. Ampersand sign is the and sign, shift. Then on top of 7, I think you're able to see it. That. Then we have this, and we pick the second name. So we do that. Space. And we pick the second name. So if you are able to see, it is giving us only the first name, but let's do it this way. So by doing this, we are able to do the same thing using a different formula. We can now see our first name and second name combined together using a different formula. So the second formula that we have just used is this. And our first formula was concatenate. So we can use concatenate or this other one here to do the same thing. Are we together up to that point? Anybody with a question? Anybody with a question? If you're not getting something, I want us to move together. Okay, silence means we are all together. So by now identifying the concept of concatenate to combine the first name and the second name together, I want us now to generate email addresses using the first names. I want us to use the same concept of concatenate to generate email addresses using the first names. So you activate your cell, as we said, concatenate, you click your tab button to get the formula there. Our first text becomes this one here. And we've said we don't want to use the second name, but we want to introduce email. So how do we now bring that at Gmail? Let's use Gmail at gmail.com. So you write comma. Then the next thing is at gmail.com. At gmail.com is not a number. It is a special character. So when we introduce a special character into our Excel formula, we give it the quotation marks protection. So you write opening mark quotation, opening quotation marks, then at, then you write your gmail.com. Then you close that special treatment and you close your bracket. By doing so, we are now able to create Gmail account for these people here. We can now see we have like this person here. We are only picking the first name and creating Gmail account using the first name. I will pardon the concept. We have used concatenate to generate email addresses for these people using their first names. Let's redo it again. Activate your cell by introducing equal sign, concatenate. Our first text is the first name, and the next thing is now at gmail.com. So, comma, at gmail.com is a text, and it is a special character. Then how then will it be detected by our Excel formula? By introducing quotation marks. So we write our opening quotation mark, then we bring in that's at gmail.com. At gmail.com. Then you close the quotation mark and close the bracket. If you enter, you are able to see that we have now generated Gmail accounts using the first names. What of if somebody says we combine the first name, the second name, and get now that Gmail account using both? And this time round, let's now use at yahoo.com. So you activate your cell, concatenate, tab. Our first text is this, comma. Our second text is this, comma. Then we now introduce at Yahoo by using the quotation marks. At yahoo.com. Then you close the quotation mark, close your bracket, and you are now able to get the Gmail email accounts of these individuals using their first name and second name combined together. Can we have 1 minute of trying that concept and see if we are able to have that concept at our fingertip? Wow, I can see one person has already done it. Another person who is able to do the same. If you are stuck somewhere, please speak out. I want us to move together. And remember, as we are going to learn this in our forthcoming classes, we are going to borrow this concept in our upcoming classes. So as we move forward, we need everyone to have this concept with them. Wow, I can see some. Eric is done. Brandley is also done. Okay. That is now how we use the concatenate concept to bring in the first name and the second name together and even introduce the space between them as it should be. Generate email accounts using that concept, and we are able to come out with the expected items as was requested. Let's do away with that. I want us now to come to these. Let's say these are the name of products, and you've been told that the name of these products should be, the name of these products should be in capital letters, or let's say these are product codes. We have been told that these are product codes. And if they are product codes, you have been requested to put them in capital letters. All of them should be in uppercase. What should we do so that we make the product code to be in uppercase? So we activate our cell, the first thing that you do always when you want to use a formula. Then what do? We write upper. It appears there as the only item there. We click our tab button. Which text do we want to put into capital letters? This is the text. You close your bracket, then you enter. By doing so, we are able to have the names there in capital letters. That is, if you are told that these are product codes and they should all be in uppercase. That's what you do. You activate your cell, use the upper formula and pick that text. Then it automatically changes everything to uppercase. That's how you use the uppercase concept. What if you are told that these codes, these are people's name, and we want to take them back to the correct concept? That is making only the first letter to be in uppercase and the remaining be in lowercase. So you activate your cell, then you use proper. Disappearing there, the last one, you click the down arrow to proper, then you click the tab button. Which one is the text that you want to write in the proper form? That is, the first letter should be in uppercase. So this is it. You activate yours, you close your bracket, then you enter. By doing so, you are able to see that the first names, all the first letters are in uppercase. Okay. What if you are told that these things that you've written in uppercase should not be that way? Therefore, you should make all of them back to lowercase. You activate your cell, lower, then you pick that text which you want to take back to lowercase, and you close your bracket. So by doing that, everything goes back to lowercase. Okay. We are now able, the first thing is we were able to bring these items that were in lowercase, the products codes, to be in uppercase, all of them. The next thing that we have done is to take back, as in, if you can see the product codes here, the product codes, we have taken them, that all of them are in lowercase, but we want to write them in a proper manner, such that the first letter of each is in uppercase. So we use the concept of proper to help us do that. What of if you want to take these names back to lowercase? That is, we reduce everything to lowercase, everything. So if you use the lowercase concept and refer to these ones that are in uppercase, it automatically takes back these things all to lowercase. Let's have 2 minutes and try to do it. 2 minutes.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, we've been told that the first two initials from this product code represent the product name, the first two letters of the product name. The next item there in this code here represent the number of the product in the store. So let's say if we have 10 or 12 products, then this product, the first product is product number 8. That's why we have 8 here. Then we have been told that the next 5 characters represent the company initials, the initials of the company name. That's why we have these 5 characters here. And the last 3 characters represent the region where the product was sold, or outlet of the company, the initials of the outlet of the company. So what do we do? So we want us to use our formulas here to extract all those directions that we've been given from this product code and get all of them. So we activate the cell to get the first item. That is the first 2 letters that represent the product initials or the product name. So you activate the cell, then we use left concept. Our text is the product code, comma, then the number of characters. We've been told that there are only 2 characters that represent the product initials. Then enter. You are now able to see that the first two is this one here. Let's see if you autofill our formula. You are able to see that the next one here, you have HJ, the first two characters that represent the product initials. That's what you do. So by dragging this, you autofill the formula. But let's just say that you have around 10,000 rows. Will you drag your cursor downwards the whole day? No. We have a shortcut of doing that, of autofilling our formula. So let's see. So we want to change this one here to be now, let's make this one to be 3. And make this one to be to remain 5, and this one here. So this one to be 4 and this one here to be 2. Let's see if it will work out. So we've been told that the number of the product in that category is having 3 characters. So we activate our cell, use left concept. We are not going to use left because we have now used left in the first ones here. So we are now going to use the middle concept. Our first thing is text. The text is the product code, comma. The start number is which character number are we going to start from? Remember, we've taken 2 characters here. So the next character is going to be character number 3, comma. And how many characters are there that represent that number? We've been told that there are 3 characters. So we pick 3. Then you close your bracket. If you do that, you are now able to get that it is 8SV. So how do we now autofill our formula? Instead of dragging your cursor downwards the whole day, let's make sure that your cursor is here and it shows you this plus. At the corner here, it shows you that plus. Then you double click. If you double click, it automatically fills down that formula to the last product. Let's see if it has done so. Yes, it has automatically autofilled it to the last product. Let's make it. Okay, here we have been told that company initials are 4 characters. You activate your cell, then we use mid. Our text still is the product code, the entire product code, start number. We've taken 2, we've taken 3, that's 5. So it means the next character is character number 6. The next character is character number 6. Then how many characters do we have that represent company initial? You've been told that there are 4 characters. Then you close your bracket. So by double clicking here to autofill your formula downwards, you are now able to see the company initials. These are the company initials. We have been told again that the region are the last 2 characters. What do? We activate our cell and now use the formula of write. Text remains the product code, comma. Number of characters, we've been told that there are only 2 characters that represent the regional initials. If you enter, you are now able to get that as the region initials. Then you autofill our formula downwards to get the regional initials of all the products. So that's how you use it. Remember, we have used left to pick the first characters from left, and we only use right to pick the characters that ends our code from right. Any other thing that is inside there, we are going to use the mid formula. Any other thing that is in between is calculated using the mid formula. So that's how we use the mid. left and right concept to help us extract codes or initials from a given name or product code. That's how we use that concept. Okay. Is there someone who has tried and is able to get that? Somebody, if you've tried and you are able to do that. If you've tried and you are able to do that, please confirm with me from the chat box. If you have a challenge also, you can share through the chat box. If you have a challenge, you can also share through the chat box. Let's see. Okay, I can see one person is done. That's good. So this one here is a bonus class. This is a free class. So if you want to join, if you want to get now the knowledge and be awarded certificate, then you need to do your payment of 2,000 Kenya shillings only. You'll get the knowledge and also get a certificate. You'll get the knowledge and also be awarded a certificate. It is only 5 days lesson and you are done. You qualify for your certificate. For payment and consultation, so that you can join our paid class that is about to start in the first week of March. We are about to start, so for you not to be left out, you can contact this number here. If you want to join our paid class so that you get the entire course for 5 days and also be awarded certificate for free, then you contact this number so that you do your payment and join the group that is yet to start their class for the month of March. It is only 2,000, that's the cost, only 2,000. I want us to do something little called cell referencing. By knowing cell referencing, you will be able to benefit from our subsequent classes that will be engaging and involving a lot of things. That cell referencing will help you to refer to some values and concepts. So for example, I want us to come up with a multiplication table of 1 to 9. And filling numbers manually, like writing 1, 2, 3, will take you a lot of time. There's a shortcut of doing that. How do we do that so that we autofill our numbers row-wise and column-wise? So having written one there, hold Alt H F I S. Alt H F I S. Then this menu pops up there. We want to fill our numbers row-wise. The difference or the interval between the numbers is 1, and we want to stop at 9. That's all. It automatically fills that. What about column-wise? You write one there, then you hold Alt H F I S. Column-wise, the interval between the numbers is 1, and we want to stop at 9. Let's see, it automatically fills that. Is there someone who is able to do that? Is there someone who is able to do that? Okay, so how do we come up with the multiplication table? That one will help us to do what we call cell referencing, so that when you do your referencing, you automatically autofill your formula without dragging the whole day. So let's see. The normal way that we are used to is activate the cell. If you are not an expert, you normally do it this way. You take this one here, then you multiply by this one here. Let's see if it will give you the correct thing. If you do it this way, you see what you are getting. You are getting something that is not actually the answer. Like 9 times 9 should give you 81, but it gives you something else. So let's do away with that. How do we then make sure that we fulfill our formula? By introducing the concept of cell referencing. Cell referencing is captured by use of $sign. If you check your laptop or desktop, on top of 4, on top of number 4, there is a $sign. And if you check the topmost row of your desktop, there is this F1, F2 up to F12. We can also use that. We are going to use that. So the first thing that you do is we introduce cell referencing to our formula. So you activate the cell. You take this one here. Remember this column here, this column E, the numbers in column E are our title columns. So normally what we do to our title column, we lock it by introducing $sign. When we are going to lock our title column, then we introduce $sign in column E. And remember, cells are named using column and rows. So like E7 represent an item in column E and in row number 7. So if we say that we're going to lock column E, then we introduce $sign before E. How do we introduce $sign? You hold Shift, then you click 4 to give you that $sign before E. That's what we do. And what are we going to multiply it? We are going to multiply it by this one here, F6. In F6, row 6 now becomes our title row. As we autofill our formula towards this direction, horizontally, we are going to maintain row 6. So row 6 becomes our title row. Therefore, we are going to introduce $sign or $reference it. How are we introduce our $sign? We introduce our $sign by placing our $sign before 6. So means we are going to lock 6. So shift, then F4, you enter. If you do that now and autofill your formula, it will now give us the correct answer. The last item there is 81, which is a 9 times 1. So by introducing dollar referencing or cell referencing, we are able to come up with a multiplication table without autofilling or doing our items manually. So that's how you use the dollar referencing or cell referencing concept to help you autofill your formula. Let's do away with this and come back to our initial sheet here. Let's say these ones here are not there. And we've been told that here, this one is the price per unit. Let's say it is 10. Let's say it is 120. And this one here is revenue. And this one remains volume or units. If this is the product unit, all of them, the price per unit is 120. So these ones, the price per unit here is 120. So instead of now bringing another column here for the prices downwards, and the price is common to the all products, we are going to do now the concept of cell referencing to autofill our formulas or use a common price. How do we do it? It is going to be is equal to, first of all, how do we normally get revenue? How do we normally get revenue? How do we normally get revenue? Can somebody remind us? How do we normally get revenue? How do we normally get revenue? Okay, somebody is telling us that revenue is equal to unit by price. So you activate your cell, you take unit here, and we multiply by the price per unit. So our price per unit happens to be 120, which is in this cell. So let's see, if you do it this one way and you drag it here, you are going to get an empty. Why are we getting an empty and value error here? Because our formula for the price is moving down as you autofill our values there. So what do? We activate the cell. It is now the units times price here. But this price here, it is common to all of these products. So what do? We lock now the entire cell. The other time when you are locking now only rows and columns, for example, when you are locking column C, we only place a $sign before C. When you are locking row 5, we placed a $, before 5. But this time around, we want to lock the entire price. So we place a $sign before C and before 5. So the shortcut of locking that entire part is you click F2. How do we lock entire part? By clicking F2. If you click F2 direct and it does not lock or introduce $signs on both sides, then it means you have Fn somewhere in your laptop. At the last row in your keyboard, there is Fn. Between Control and Windows and Alt, there is Fn somewhere. So you hold that Fn, then you click F4. So you click Fn and F4. You hold Fn, then you click F4. If you hold Fn and click F4, you are now able to see that we've introduced dollar signs after C Is there someone who has done it and is able to get us the answer? Somebody? Any other person who has done it? Let me pardon once. We want to use this price is common. The price is common to all the products here. So the difference thing is that unit. And we've also agreed that revenue is equal to unit times price. Revenue is equal to unit times price, and the price is common here. So instead of creating another column here to introduce price that is common to all of the products, we automatically refer to it. And by referring to it, we lock that price cell. So you activate your cell is equal to price times unit, but this price here is common. So what do? We lock the entire price. And we've also agreed that how do we lock the entire price? By introducing $sign before C and before 5 to lock that price itself. So the first shortcut, we've said you hold Fn and click F4 to introduce $sign before C and before S, or you do it this way: you hold Shift, then on top you click 4 to get $sign there, and also again hold Shift and 4 to get $sign there. So we shall have introduced $sign, lock the price cell, then we multiply by the units here. We are not going to lock units because as we autofill downwards, we change from one unit to another as we move downwards from one row to another. And when you enter, you are now able, let's just autofill up to this point and see. We are now able to see that it is maintaining the same price, but as we autofill it downwards. What of if you do it this way? We still see that it is taking this one here, the units in this row, and multiplying it by the price that is above there. So it means the price is constant. That's why you can see in this place here, we have C5. If you come to this cell, still C5 is maintained. That is how we do cell referencing. So if you want to autofill your entire formula down here, instead of dragging it the whole day, you place your cursor there and see this sign of plus. This one here, not this, not this. We have this one at the corner here. And if you double click it, it automatically fills that formula up to the last cell. That is the first concept of cell referencing. Another concept of referring to the same price and not making it keep on changing. You highlight the whole of this one here, then you move to data. You highlight the whole of this one here, then you move to formulas, and you see this one, create from selection. This one pops here. There's this one here, create names from selection. Create names from the values in the left column. So if you click OK, and if you now come to this place here, you are going to see the name of the cell has changed to price. If you are keen enough, if you check up here, the name of the cell has changed from C5 to price. So let's see. So you activate our cell, then you say it is the number of units. We multiply by price. If you just type price, you are going to see it. This one here with a unique feature here. Then you click tab button. So it refers to that. Then you enter. By entering, if you now just double click, it automatically refer to the same So if you see, it is now units times price. And where is that price? It is now the cell C5 that you are referring to. So we have two methods of locking a cell and referring to it. The first one is introducing $sign. The next one is giving it a name. So when we're having changed the name of the cell, as we autofill our formula here, it automatically refers. Let's see, this one here will still refer to this cell. So the name of that cell is what we've changed from C5, that is the common one, to price. How do we change that name to price? Let's redo it. Let's say give it selling price. Let's now give it that name. And let's now change this one. Let's say it is 45. So we want to give it that. So we are going to highlight the whole of it. We move to formula and check here. We have create from selection. If you click there, and this one tells you that create names from the values in the left column. Okay. So when you come now, it is no longer C5. It is going to be called selling price. That is the name of this cell here. So how do we get our revenue? Revenue is selling price. And if you start typing selling price, you will see it appearing there. It is down here. So you can click the down arrow to move until the blue color points that selling price. You click your tab button and we multiply by the units here. So if you double click or autofill by making your plus there, it automatically refers to that. So let's see this one here. Which one is it referring? Selling price, which is this one here, then C14, which is the row to the cell where the units are. That's enough for today. You will do your practice. So if you want certificates and you want to join the class that is yet to start this week, contact this number. She will give you more information on how to join. Cost is 2,000 inclusive of classes and certificates.